Hello there and welcome. I'm Bob Proctor. You've probably seen me in The Secret. And you know, for the last 40 years, I have traveled all over the world helping people understand what are the secrets to success, to living the way they really want to live. Well, recently, for whatever reason, I've been getting a number of emails asking me, Bob, what really made the difference in your life? What caused you to really skyrocket ahead? And skyrocket I did, by the way. Let me first of all get you to reflect on where I'm at, and then I want to go to where I was, and then really what happened, because I really believe what happened to me can happen to anyone. And I decided to make this videotape in an answer to many requests I've received just over the past little while. And I believe this is a great time to share the secret that really changed my life with as many people as I can. First of all, right now, I am the chairman of the Life Success Group of companies. We have companies that operate all over the world. We do millions of dollars of volume a year. I have been fortunate enough to have been selected as one of the featured people on the runaway phenomena movie, The Secret, which has impacted the lives of a few 100 million people. I've been fortunate enough to be on Larry King a couple of times, Nightline, Ellen, quoted in all the major publications in the world. And, you know, my life is, it operates more like many people's dreams. I have wonderful friends all over the world. I travel all over the world. I'm living in a healthy body. I've got great relationships. But let me tell you, it wasn't always like that. Prior to me ever experiencing the kind of life I'm living now, I was sitting in a fire hall in a suburb of Toronto in Canada. And my life was not really very happy. I was living the way I believe an awful lot of people live. I was earning $4,000 a year, but I owed $6,000. Now you'd say, well, $6,000 isn't much. In 1961, that was a lot of money. And I didn't owe it all in one place. So I always had bill collectors, maybe 2 or 3 of them, after me at any given time to pay a bill that I didn't have the money for. Life was not good. I really wasn't happy. I had no idea of how to change it. In fact, I don't think it ever even entered my mind that I could change it. Now, when people ask me, Bob, what happened? Well, there's a few parts to it. First of all, I was introduced to this book. This is Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. Now, at that time, I didn't read books. I really did not read books. I didn't read any kind of books. And for whatever reason, I started to read this. And the author said, there's a secret in this book. And he said, if you can find the secret in the book, you can have anything you seriously want. Well, I started to look and I found the secret, and it was pretty simple. It was simply sit down, decide what you really want, write it on a card, carry the card in your pocket, and read it as often as possible every day. Now, do you know, that sounds pretty simple, and I've shared that with a lot of people, but unfortunately it didn't work for them, for many of them, the way it's worked for me. Now, it has worked for some of them. I could take you to many people that are earning millions of dollars a year. They run big companies, and they will tell you that it was Bob Proctor that really impacted their life, or Bob Proctor's concepts. Well, you see, I did exactly what he said, and I did a number of other things, but it took me years to figure out what I had actually done. Now, I wrote on the card that I was going to have in my possession by New Year's Day of 1970, $25,000. Now, I want you to think for a moment. If you're earning $4,000 a year and you owe $6,000, you know, $25,000, that would be like, you know, jumping over the moon. I really didn't believe it could happen, but he said, what do you really want? And that's what I really wanted. And I just sort of stabbed at the number 25 because I thought that would have been so wonderful to have that much money. And I did what he said. I started to read what was on the card. Now, I did something else beside that. I started to study this book. And I want to share with you a couple of the points that really changed my life. I just decided last night that I was going to make this video. I was flying back to Toronto from Las Vegas. I was working in Vegas, and I come into Toronto. And I got thinking about this, and I had this book out, and the guy beside me was looking at me. He never did speak, and so I didn't say anything. But I could see the book was old, and I was underlining things on it. And I was picking out the things that really made the difference with me. Now, I came across a couple of points that I want to share with you, and believe me that they can change your life, because you see, when I wrote that on the card, I didn't believe it. But yet, 1 year later, I was earning $5,000 a year. And in a relatively short period of time, I took it over $1 million a year.
It's your boy E.T., and welcome to another edition of, that's right, bring it from the bottom, baby. Thank God it's Monday. All right, you heard me say it 1,000,000 times. Listen to me, I'm allergic. Are you hearing me? I'm allergic to average. And the problem with a lot of you is you're not allergic to average, all right? You got to do me a huge favor, man. You lying to yourself. On one point, you saying you want to be great. You want to do great things. You want to have greatness. You want to be great. Listen to me. But on the other hand, for real, you comfortable with average. And I told you, listen to me. I don't care what side of the railroad track you were born on. I don't care if you were fluent. I don't care if you privileged. I don't care if you grew up in poverty, with the father, without a father, with a mom, without adopted. I don't care. Listen to me. The reason why I'm telling you that I'm allergic to average is not personal. E.T. is allergic to it because success is allergic to average. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? Success and average don't have nothing to do with each other. So you can't say you want to be successful. You can't say there's certain dreams and goals, there are things you want to have and things you want to be if you are still average. You got to get to the point where you get allergic to average. You don't think average. You don't perform average. Listen to me. When I tell you success and average have absolutely nothing to do with each other, this is what I'm telling you. Your boss can't stand average. Your coach can't stand average. Your teacher can't stand average. Your spouse, listen to me. Your mama might put up with it. Your daddy might put up with it. But listen to me very closely. Nobody really likes average. Now, they may not say anything to you about being average, right? But deep down inside, people are not happy with. People are not comfortable with. People can't stand average. So you got to do me a huge favor. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you about a kid that I met. I'm going to tell you about this kid. I call him Love. I'm going to show you his report card. Man, you got to do, I'm going to give you 3 things. And you got to listen to me because I met this kid. The school system had given up on him. Listen to me. The principal told me when I was just speaking. He said, E.T., you got to do me a huge favor, E. You got to talk to this kid. This kid got potential. He has the potential to be great. So I'm not telling you something I read. I'm not telling you something I heard about. I'm going to give you 3 things that I told this young man to do who was almost failing out of school. We're not even going to talk about what was happening to this kid outside of school, all right? This kid, what you would identify as at risk, troubled kid. Just look at the grades real quick. My man getting like a 98 in math, a 98, listen to me, in biology. Like, this kid is murdering the game. You say, E.T., what did you tell this kid? You got to tell me because I'm trying to get to that level. Now, if you listen to what I'm telling you to do, this is the secret to success. I'm going to get you ready for 2014 because you cannot afford to have another year like 2013. You can't afford to have another year like 2012, 2011, like 2010. You cannot be average any longer. Why? Because average attracts average. Man, you're not hearing me. Are you seeing? In one day, I was voiceover NFL, voiceover Major League Soccer, voiceover for the Detroit Pistons. You saw 3 commercials in one day. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You saw me, guys. Cabrera, interviewing with Cabrera with New Balance. You saw it, guys. You saw me with the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen to me very closely. When I'm telling you to be great, because when you're great, you attract great. When you're average, you attract average. So, all right. So, E.T., what'd you tell Love, E.T.? All right, this is what I want to tell you. This is what I told Love. First of all, God, you got to do this for me because I'll never forget when I had the discussion with Love. He picked up the phone and he called me and he was telling me, E.T., I'm not going to let you down. E.T., I'm going to get on the honor roll, the dean's list. E.T., I'm about to do this thing. I'm about to take this thing to the next level. Look, principle number one, do me a favor because people ask me all the time, E.T., on one hand, you tell me that I have to speak it into existence just like you. You said you was going to be in the NFL and you were there. E.T., you said you was going to Australia on the mixtape before you even went to Australia. E.T., you told me to speak it into existence. So is it speak into existence or the other video you said shut up? Which one is it? It's shut up. That's right. Listen to me carefully. It's shut up. So this is what I need you to do for me, guys. I need you to speak it one time. One time. That's it. I need you to say it one time. I need you to get it out in the atmosphere. I need you to say it so you can hold yourself accountable to what you said. Tell a friend so they can hold you accountable. But after you say it once, shut your mouth, go into the lab and get to work. Are you hearing me? Shut your mouth.
Unfortunately, for those of us who don't take time to write down clear goals and make plans to achieve them, our goals never fully materialize, and the path to success is windy, confusing, and difficult to stick to. Usually, we give up before we ever get there. Before we wrap up, I'd like to leave you with a thought to share with your friends and followers. Here it is. Continually bombard your mind with thoughts and pictures and people consistent with the person you want to be and with the goals you want to achieve. Now, I love to hear from you, so my question today is this. What is one goal that you plan to achieve this year? What are two things you can take action on today to get closer to that goal?
Hello world, it's Billionaire Carter in the flesh, back at you today. I want to continue to speak with you about our belief system. I want to speak about rule number 2 today. We rule number 2 says that we use fear, failure, doubts, and disappointments as growth opportunities and not as stop signs. I want you to think about that. It's pretty heavy. Use fear, failure, doubts, disappointments as growth opportunities and not as stop signs. See, that's like totally opposite of what, we're thinking traditionally, because normally when we're afraid of things or when we aren't very successful or we don't accomplish what we set out to accomplish or when we're not believing in ourselves or when people or situations or circumstances disappoint us or let us down, normally those are telltale signs of defeat. Those are signs of, tucking your tail and running, as they say. But, as I say all the time, quoting Les Brown, if you can look up, you can get up. Why do I say that so much is because of the fact that it's real. If you still have breath in your body, okay, if you can think the thought of how hard it is and how much you're struggling, guess what? You can also think of some possibilities. You can also think of, what can be done, because after you get down so low, how much fear can you entertain, Instead of being afraid, why not operate with some faith? You see what fear is producing, why not try the reciprocal, if you've already had a history of failure, why not get up and dust yourself off and try again? After so much failure, the likelihood of success becomes greater and greater. That's how you can encourage yourself. You can only fail so much. The law of averages says that if you just simply keep going, that eventually you'll get there. And that's when we speak about intelligent work, intelligent work, not just going about doing anything any kind of way, but that's where preparation comes in. That's where we have to acquire the necessary knowledge, to be able to move forward effectively. That way we don't have to have doubts, we don't have to continue to fail, we don't experience those disappointments as much. So when we say use fear, failure, doubt, and disappointments as growth opportunities, that's something that just simply takes intentional action. It's me choosing to change my mind about the way I'm looking at situations and circumstances, and that's how those things that would hinder me and stop my stride, they begin to become launching pads. They begin to be green lights instead of red lights. but it's an intentional choice that has to be made on my part. But I want to encourage you today to take authority over your right now. And in reality, hey, what do you have to lose? Because as bad as it is right now, you'd be surprised how just a couple different type of choices, some different types of thoughts, on purpose, can truly start moving you into a totally different direction. It's BillionaireCarter.com. We'll talk to you soon.